Welcome to our Wednesday meditation service. The word for today is forgiveness. Through it all, God is my comfort. There is no unforgiveness in spirit. As I prayerfully release resentment, there is no unforgiveness in me. We're going to do a call and response. Just get yourself comfortable. If you want to lay down while the meditation's going on, that's fine. Anything to get rid of your body, to not have to think about it. Okay. Speak with the mouth of God. Love with the heart of God. Walk with the feet of God. Sing with the voice of God. Live in heaven, here and now. Live in heaven, here and now. Heaven, heaven. Dance with the soul of God. Walk with the grace of God. Breathe with the air of God. Think with the mind of God. Live in heaven, here and now. Live in heaven, here and now. Heaven, heaven, heaven. Dance with the soul of God. Walk with the grace of God. Breathe with the breath of God. Think with the mind of God. Live in heaven, here and now. Live in heaven, here and now. Heaven, heaven. Hear with the words of God. Never ever fear God. Merge with the mind of God. Feel with the love of God. Live in heaven, here and now. heaven, here and now. Heaven, heaven, speak with the mouth of God. Live with the heart of God. Walk with the feet of God. Sing with the voice of God. Live in heaven, here and now. Live in heaven, here and now. Heaven, heaven,
Good evening, everyone. nirvana, heaven, the promised land, Christ consciousness, divine awareness, enlightenment, are all names for the same sublime state of consciousness that we are in the process of seeking, and every human being is seeking, to rise from the conflicts and the turmoil of the fragmented world of ego-clashing humans. This is the world of tribulation. And the Master of Life used that exact word, tribulation. I'll share it with you from the book of John, chapter 16, verse 33. I have said all these things to you. This is at the conclusion of a speech that he made regarding consciousness. I have said all these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. The scripture will go on to imply that we are called to follow him in overcoming the world. To overcome the world is not to be, to renounce the world or to withdraw into an ashram, a convent, a cave, or anything like that. We don't leave the world. We are karma yogis. We remain in the material marketplace world, carrying on and carrying out the personal obligations we have in relationship to the physical life we are living. The only difference is that we are forever practicing mindfulness. That is, we are not being tossed to and fro by the changing tides and circumstances of the world. We have a higher level of awareness, which we sustain by being mindful of the truth. And to do that, we have to transition out of the way we were born, raised, and educated to perceive the world. We must rise beyond those definitions to be able to live the karma yogi life, which is a life measured by peace. You will agree with me that there could be no such thing as heaven or nirvana or true lasting happiness without peace of mind. Peace of mind would have to be the main ingredient. In fact, those of us who are karma yogis on the path can measure our effectiveness in our practice by how much peace we're able to sustain, how much peace we are capable of having throughout each day, and are we capable, willing, and courageous enough to allow peace to be the ultimate priority for our lives in any given situation, at any time, in any place. You can ask yourself that question seriously. How willing are you to make peace your priority? Because it is the measure of your spiritual advancement. And some people don't have any idea at all. For a while, they are ignoring, rejecting the concept that there is a spiritual journey on which we are all traveling, or in which we are all traveling. So there is that clinging by many people to the idea of separation, their personal lives becoming more prevalent, more important in their process of living than finding true peace of mind. And these people may go day after day, month after month, year after year, even lifetime after lifetime, pursuing some kind of outcomes that somehow or other they are supposing exist by gaining the treasures and pleasures of the world. You see it all, you read it all, you see it advertised, how people are attempting to gain the treasures, the pleasures, the prestige, the popularity of the world. And of course, the money of the world, which in the mind of the unenlightened is the one thing that can bring you peace. There is the supposition, a natural one from the unenlightened state, that if one had enough money, one could have peace all the time. And of course, that doesn't work. We know of people that have had millions of dollars and popularity. Maybe they're movie stars or rock stars, but their lives are not peaceful, and their suffering comes to light quite often in the tabloids. And in some cases, they overdose on drugs or are in alcoholic rehabilitation centers or some other kind of disparity that takes place because they have made the world their God without acknowledging that their God is a divine level of awareness that we were all called to enter into without withdrawing from the world, but being mindful of what is truly valuable. What is truly valuable? I mean, if you look at the arguments that take place in the world, either in the newspapers, on the news, you look at the conflicts that take place in the world, and each person or persons involved in the conflict are attempting to get something that the other doesn't want them to get. Or they are both trying to get the same thing in a contest that is almost like a sport. And how simple it would be if one or the other knew that peace, true peace, was such a joyful, loving experience, it didn't require gaining anything from the world or gaining anything from anyone else. Do you believe that such a state of consciousness exists? Of course it does. The masters down through the ages are forever pointing out what is truly valuable and how to get to that level of consciousness where you are, in fact, in the world still, but no longer of the world, no longer being tossed to and fro by the changing conditions and circumstances which the ego-centered idea of self is creating in your experience. So, that is what we are about doing in unity. We are about transcending the mundane thinking of the ego-centered world. We've come to a place where we realize there must be a greater happiness than flailing away day after day at trying to gain enough power to control the conditions and circumstances and people that we see outside of us. There's no way to accomplish that. And knowing that is one of the big steps in taking seriously one's spiritual practice. Knowing that you cannot gain what is truly valuable by attempting to secure power over all the conditions and circumstances of the world. It's simply not going to work. And you can go on trying that and becoming frustrated and disappointed. You can even gain a heck of a lot of material wealth and have to discover in all of that, you still don't have this joy and peace and love and insight that would make you free of fear, free of conflict, free of fighting. Well, if you seriously understand that, you will take seriously your spiritual practice, which is meditation. Because this peace that I'm speaking about is a mystical state of consciousness. And it is possible to be in that state of consciousness whether you're cleaning a filthy toilet or receiving a Nobel Prize. Because that state of consciousness is above all worldly treasures. It is the treasure of enlightenment. And it is worth everything pursuing it. So, A Course in Miracles will speak to this idea of peace in a profound way. It is hardly ever not speaking to this goal of peace in this fashion. You can read this in the old Course in Miracles text on page 216, paragraph 2, or in the new edition, which is what most of you have, on page 232. Salvation is for the mind and is attained through peace. This is the only thing that can be saved and the only way to save it. Any response other than love arises from a confusion about the what and the how of salvation. And this is the only answer. Never lose sight of this, and never allow yourself to believe, even for an instant, that there is another answer. For you will surely place yourself among the poor who do not understand that they dwell in abundance and that salvation is come. I will share this with you again, but as I said, it epitomizes the essential truth found throughout A Course in Miracles. So listen very carefully again to the ideal that A Course in Miracles is forever presenting to us. Salvation is for the mind, and it is attained through peace. This is the only thing that can be saved, and the only way to save it. Any response other than love arises from a confusion about the what and the how of salvation. And this is the only answer. Never lose sight of this, and never allow yourself to believe, even for an instant, that there is another answer. For you will surely place yourself among the poor who do not understand that they dwell in abundance and that salvation is come. What they mean by the poor in A Course in Miracles is a reference to those whose minds are invested in the world. And A Course in Miracles refers to them as being poor indeed, because they know not what is truly valuable and continue to pursue that which can never bring them the fulfillment that they are seeking. That's simply A Course in Miracles, straight and to the point. So they refer to those who are still pursuing the seeming pleasures or treasures of the world in order to gain that freedom they think will be found in being able to control how other people will respond to you, control how conditions and circumstances will bow to your expectations, your desires, and your personal ego-centered dictates and demands. That's the insanity of the thought system that the world embraces. So when Jesus talks about overcoming the world, be of good cheer, I have overcome the world, he's referring to that world of conflicting, clashing, illusion-driven, ego-centered, consciousness-oriented humans. So when I say I'm speaking to you, I'm not speaking to you very often from an academic perspective, speaking to you from one who has been there and done that. I had a number of opportunities in my life to possibly pursue wealth. And I turned them down in a reason because I didn't believe in the ways and the means of attaining that wealth. I'll give you an example. One of the very high promoters of Amway, the company that you sell and you bring people in and they sell, and you get percentages from what they sell, and they bring in more people, and you make a lot of money as they keep selling the Amway products and going to Amway meetings. Well, I had a very high guy on that, in that program, who in San Angelo said to me, if you come into Amway, I will guarantee you that you will, and I think this is a title they use in Amway, you will be a Diamond Direct Amway promoter within a year. And he was way up there, so it meant I wasn't coming in on the bottom where I would have to be with all the underlings selling and selling and selling and having these parties and talking people into coming in under me and all that. No, he was talking about putting me really at a high place in the popular conditioning of Amway, and it would only be a year before. A Diamond Direct, he said, makes in commissions more than $1 million a year. So this was the sale pitch that was given to me when, at the time, I was making, probably, I think, $2,000 a month salary in San Angelo. And I had to pay for all my expenses, my rent, and to feed my children, et cetera, et cetera. But it wasn't me. I've had a couple of other opportunities along the way, but again, it wasn't my path. As a matter of fact, if you read my book, you understand that I believe my path was, if not predestined to take place, it was at least manipulated by conditions and circumstances that led me this way and that way till I found myself backed into the ministry, forced back into the ministry, where I have found complete and utter fulfillment and peace, happiness and joy, wisdom and insight. But that could only happen if I had a partner who was as well there with me through the whole process and who shares the life I live with her. So here we are again. You might ask, how does one, as a karma yogi, sustain peace in the world, living in the world? How do you sustain that mystical state of peace where you're not caused to be anxious or concerned or angry or upset or depressed? How do you do that? Listen very carefully to the way it is related by this East Indian guru who is Subramaniam is his name, an East Indian guru who wrote a little booklet called All is One. And from that booklet, I have this excerpt. What is peace? Although the world persists when a person is in deep sleep, does he have any cares concerning the world? His mind is tranquil and refreshed. Should his mind be in the same degree calm and refreshed, even when he is face to face with the world and is active therein, then that is peace. I'll read this first part again before I read the second part. What is peace? Although the world persists when a man or a person is in deep sleep, does he have any cares concerning the world? Well, obviously the question is no, he doesn't. If he's in deep sleep, he's not even aware of what's going on in the world. His mind is tranquil and refreshed. Should his mind be in the same degree calm and refreshed, even when he is face to face with the world and is active and awake therein, then that is peace. So what he is saying is that as karma yogis, we should be so far above the thinking and experiences of the way we were taught to negotiate in the world. We have to be above that. We have to have gotten over that in order for us to be in a higher level of awareness, which is where the goal and the priority is to sustain my peace of mind, which means a certain non-attachment to the conditions and circumstances of the world going according to your personal expectations, dictates, and demands. Honestly, just ask yourself, do I understand this? Ask yourself that. Do I understand this? Do I understand that it takes a certain amount of spiritual practice to get to that place? It takes a certain amount of watching one's own mind and being mindful when you're being tossed and thrown over by conditions changing that are in opposition to what you want and what you're pursuing and what you're expecting and what you're demanding from other people to be this way and that way, and they should have known better, he should have done better, why are they still doing this? They should be punished. Let me put it as plainly as I can put it. The thinking of the world is certifiable insanity. And that is that. This guru will go on to say, can the mind remain so at peace even when the world confronts us? It depends upon our estimate of the world. The mind is more excited when one's own property is stolen than when another's is stolen, or one's own things. The loss of one thing causes more concern than the loss of another thing. Why? Because our estimate of things is the cause of delight or anxiety concerning them. It is our personal estimate of things and the value of each thing is the cause of our delight or our anxiety. So some things, if you were missing them, they wouldn't be all that difficult to handle. But other things, that would be it. I couldn't handle that. And so you see how the mind is set up in a way to project value on the world of things. And so we are called to transcend that definition of life because it doesn't work to bring fulfillment or peace of mind. It doesn't. So we have to see that to know that we can get to a place where we see, listen to it, and experience all things as being of equal value. All things being of equal value. And we also know that all things come and go. And in that state of mind, we become allowing them to come and go. There may be some little tribulation because, oh gee, I don't know, I didn't experience to meet that yet, but it's here, and so, okay. Let me choose peace again. Let me be at peace. Let me know what is truly valuable, which is peace of mind. So I experience all things as being equally, and I'll give you a hint. Not just equally valuable, but equally meaningless in any attempt to find fulfillment and peace in the world. So we're going to meditate together, and meditation is really one of the foremost and most effective practices, because whenever one sits down to meditate or one lies down to meditate, one is allowing the mind to rest from its incessant thinking. The mind is forever attempting, thinking, to try to bring about its desires to make things better for its own personal well-being from the world. So when we meditate, we're just relaxing that. Okay, I can get back to pursuing the business of the world. But for now, I'm just going to allow the deep level of spirit to come and heal my awareness. So we're going to do that just by beginning to listen to the beautiful tones of the crystal bowl and becoming more willing to be okay with ourselves, because guilt is a key priority of the ego-centered self. And it tries to keep you from being present and okay. I am present and okay. Just the way I am, just the way things are, with all my foibles, with all my difficulties, with all my expectations, I'm still okay. The universe created me to be okay and learn from being awake in the process of living. That's all I'm called on to do. Nobody's judging, there's no God, there's no separate hell. Nobody, there's only this sublime level of enlightenment, which everyone is seeking but doesn't quite know it yet. So give yourself permission to be okay wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Sitting here tonight and allowing yourself to be at peace. The heck with the world outside. The heck with what you've been thinking that you might have brought with you that have to deal with it tomorrow morning. Just let it alone. Don't fight it. Just give your mind to this mantra. Gently give your awareness to this mantra. God is love. Love is life, true life. I am God's life. I am. I am. God is love. Love is life, true life. I am God's life. I am. I am. God is love. Love is life, true life. I am God's life. I am. I am. I am. Breathing in the I, breathing out the am. I am. In this refined level of awareness, we will offer the names of those that have been submitted to our prayer list. As Norma calls the name, just let the thought of healing love go to that name.
Wouter Verhagen, Sandy Spahn, Steve Taylor, Tammy Gofelt, Rick, Nancy Lee, Marilyn Matthews, Cynthia, Matt and Sharon White, Brandon and Natalie and Baby, Loretta Zebel, Rich Zebel, Douglas Weebel, Dara Rutono, Faye Russell, Friends at Sunnyvale Church in Denver for migrant support, Judith Jorg, Harry Jorg, Arlie Jorg, Philip Tayton and family, Richard Summer, Rachel Zink, Joe G., Rodney, Sedona Lee, Rebecca, Shelley, the Laufers, Mark Laufer, Jenny, Scott, and Andy, Christopher and Amanda Dodd, Carter Setz, Sheila and Carter. And you can call out a name if you would like to do so at this time. You see these healing lights surrounding the prayer box and all the people's names that have been submitted throughout the month. We see them healed physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Let us take a moment now to embrace the vision of the new heaven and earth, recognizing the divine level of love and peace, rising in the consciousness of everyone, sharing this Boulder community with us. And this divine level of mystical love and peace, rising in the consciousness of everyone, sharing the state of Colorado with us, and expanding into the awareness and the lives of everyone sharing these United States of America with us. And so it moves and continues to inspire and enlighten everyone in every country, in every nation, in every race of the world, bringing a new realization of loving harmony and peace to all the creatures that share planet Earth with humanity. And in this consciousness divine, we recognize the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And God is love. To this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And as we are preparing to do this, I'm speaking to those people that are watching this live stream. Is this even being...
What?
Is this being sent out on live stream on Wednesday?
No.
No? It is or it isn't? It's okay, whether it is or not. I'm not going to get upset in front of you. All right, as we bring our offerings to mind and in our hands, let's bless them with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is.
In each decision I make, how will it affect the future? And all life. In each decision I make, how will it affect the future? And all life. And all life.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, the Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen.
I'll be doing the Sacred Feminine group tomorrow at 12 noon, and it goes from 12 to 1:30. And if you have any remedies that you would like to share that have been part of your family, or any friends have told you about and you've used them, let's talk about them, because the women were the healers in the very beginning. We knew the herbs, we knew the healing remedies to gather, we knew so much. We were the healers, and it's time for us to start acknowledging that in this group and sharing the remedies that you knew as you were growing up, because they were really good and they worked.
Okay. At our Sunday services, I'll be doing the 9 a.m. service with Norma, and Santisha will be back in the pulpit at the 11 o'clock service. We have tea and cookies for any of you who would like to stay and chat in our bookstore through these doors to your left. To everyone, good night.
Why is it so bright?